Why don't you go into a little bit more depth just to give you the highlights of your career, please, Richard?
Yeah, well, hey, as I say, talking about myself is my favorite subject, so do shut me up in about 30 seconds if I'm boring you all. But I guess in a nutshell, if I go back to that blender thing, actually, it's quite helpful perhaps as a lens. So I talk about McKinsey consultant, slightly unorthodox pastor, and an entrepreneur, put them in a blender. And I suppose what I often say is I work at the intersection of strategy, leadership, and purpose. Which is kind of those three characters, I suppose you might say, mixing them up. What that really means is I love helping leaders who are already achieving great things. They're probably a CEO or a C-level executive or not far off, and they've got to a certain level, and yet they know there's another level ahead, right? They know that they're going to have to re-engineer their success formula, normally get out of the weeds, get out of the operational details, and start thinking more strategically than ever, having more influence than before, and really working on the levers that move it. And that's kind of like what I'm all about. And the reason in terms of my life story for that is, I guess I've always thought as a strategist, I think, figuring out how to have the biggest results with the least possible effort was, always a bit of a personal challenge, a personal game. It worked well for me, right? Academically, it did really, really well. I went into consulting, strategy consulting. And again, that was just a great fit for, I think, the way I think, the strategic mindset, and became the youngest ever partner in a tech-focused strategy consulting company. Then I went to Cisco for about 11 years, working on really helping C-level execs in Cisco's partners and customers really think through how technology could enable them to do new things in this world of complexity and ambiguity and uncertainty and everything else that we're in. So kind of helping them take that strategic perspective. And then, I guess 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of had a look and I said, well, I've got a great role in Cisco. At that point, I was working for a small team set up by the CEO of Cisco and the global head of sales to really catalyze these strategic partnerships and new business initiatives. It was a lot of fun. I described it as basically fulfilling the rash commitments made in meetings between top executives. We'd get the phone call saying, they're really excited about doing this with us, but we have no idea what that really means. Can you go and figure it out? So it's a lot of fun. But I think my aha moment was I started to realize, what do I want to say to my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren when I'm 90, and they're on my knees and they're saying, Granddad, what did you do in this world? What did you do? And obviously, I don't want to talk about my family and all, important things like that. But then they pushed me, well, what did you do in your job? And I realized I didn't want to just say, I helped AT&T or whoever it is, make 0.5% better EBITDA margins. There's nothing wrong with that. And I enjoy helping leaders who've got big financial goals to achieve. But I realized that for me, what was going to be important was that personal angle as well, right? So was I able to invest in people to help them make a bigger difference, make a bigger positive impact in the world? And that's kind of what really lights me up. This idea that, we don't get what we want, we get who we are. And so as a leader, if we want a new set of results, we want more impact in the world, we need to have a look at how are we showing up, which is obviously, I guess, your Iron Man mindset is going to be a key part of it, right?
Yeah.